Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 13 of the GTA 3 series. It is I, once again, the King Oogmeister, on Friday for the 13th video of Grand Theft Auto 3, which I just realized, which is awesome in how, just kind of how this game is. But, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do the 20 fires on Staten Island, as well as show you guys where that Borgine taxi is. It is going to be a little bit shorter of a video. Like I said before, if you do like these shorter videos, let me know. That way I can kind of break them down like that. Or if you like the longer ones, if you don't say anything, I'm just going to keep just randomly doing them. It's just how it works sometimes, honestly. But, yeah. So let's go ahead, get on into it, and start putting the fires out. This first one kind of came into a, not so greatly chosen spot. Like I've told y'all before, I'm not a big fan of being around this construction area, just because the cartel, they don't seem to like me very much, and I don't blame them. I'm sure if I killed a bunch of their friends and blew up their boat, a pretty big one at that, they wouldn't be very happy. But I digress. And it's very nice to be familiar with the city, but I am not the biggest fan of maneuvering with the fire truck. It's just such a big vehicle. It's very lethargic. And it just does not have the same properties as a lot of other vehicles. Slowing down in it is kind of a pain. Just the same as turning, it's more of a hassle. It's a lot easier to bump into things, but the one nice thing is that this vehicle does have a lot of health. So you don't have to worry with being as careful. I wouldn't put it that you don't have to worry about it, but you have to be less worried about it. You still want to maintain the health of the vehicle. And I ended up being able to do it through all 20 of the missions, but to be honest with you, I don't know how much farther I would have gotten with it. Because by the end, this thing gets pretty beat up. But it would have been interesting to see how far it would have gone. But I just went to the 20, ended it, and then went to go get the Borgine taxi, which you will see in a bit. Now, the thing about these missions, and I had talked about it when I did my vigilante mission with the police vehicle, is that there's just certain parts where cars will be in a spot that may look like it's in one place, but it's actually in another. So that's why just previously I used that shortcut to help me get to where I needed to go, and sometimes that just comes from experience of playing and knowing where it is. This map is a little bit tricky on this island, just because it has roads that overlap each other. Like I was saying, there is a road on the ground level, and then there's one above it. So on the map, it'll show you ground level, and that's where you might think it is, but it's actually up top, or you're up top and it's actually down below. So you kind of got to use the map to exactly see it. Can actually help you out. Like if you look on that map right now, that those two lanes, that is a highway. So if you see it specifically on there, then you know you need to be up above ground, not on ground level. Because even if you're at ground level, you've got to go a little bit of a ways to get to that point. And especially at the beginning of the fire vigilante, you don't have too much time. You can start building it up, but at the beginning, you're just not really Man, that cop did not give a flying Benjamin Franklin dollar about that limo. Like, not at all, even if it was gold and silver. But yeah, no, this one's not too bad. Just because you only got to put out 20 fires on each island. And you don't have to do them consecutively. But I did get all of these consecutively. Honestly, I think, in my opinion, if you started and you give yourself a good time, you start getting to these destinations pretty fast and putting the fires out. You keep building your time up. It makes it a whole lot easier. The only thing you're really worried about is your vehicle at that point catching on fire. This is not a vehicle that you can take to the pay and spray. It is simply too big to fit inside of it. You would have to hop inside of another fire truck. Granted, if you build yourself that time up, you have ample time to go ahead and get one. So if you do like doing this mission and that's a way that you earn money through this game, or you think that you want to, memorize where the fire stations are. Because if you get to a point, you would rather change sooner than later. If your car catches on fire, I should say, if your fire truck catches on fire, you really want to be near that fire station. Now, you can hop out and get inside a car, which would be a lot faster and easier to handle, so you can kind of do it at your own pace. I just think it's easier if you're already by the fire station in this thing during one of your trips, to go ahead and just grab it. But, you know, to each their own. Honestly, I really like the drifts in this game. It's like you're sliding on ice. It's just, I don't know, it's so cool. But, I don't know if you guys could tell, but these vigilante missions are honestly one of the best ways to earn money. Once you get to missions where you need a certain amount of money and you don't have them, don't freak out and think that there's nothing to do. You gotta go murder people for money. No, not at all. These vigilante missions are very great, and they have an absolutely just bonkers amount of payment to them that make them the best choice to use besides the main missions of getting money. But if you're at a point to where you need it for a main mission, go and hop in one of these or do those vehicle lists. Those will give you a good amount of money, especially if you can go ahead and compound all of your efforts into one little playthrough. You'll earn a lot of bonuses for them. Honestly, I wish that they had kept these missions through the later GTAs, like Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5. Especially 5, if you don't really know about 5, it's basically all about robbing banks, which is really cool in itself, and it just adds something that the GTA universe hasn't seen as in depth. But that's the only really way to make money in that game, and it's kind of a hassle. If they had something like this to where you earn vigilante money, I think that'd be awesome. Just in the interim of you robbing the banks. And they're just a lot of fun to do as well. I mean, who doesn't want to hop in a police car and play vigilante? They're just a lot of fun to do, and I think that the newer games have missed out on that opportunity. And honestly, they're really easy to do as well. If you know what you're doing, at least in Grand Theft Auto 3, the vigilante missions are very easy. Now, after I beat this game, I am going to go through and play the other ones, Vice City and San Andreas, which I'm really excited for as well. But right now, I'm just sticking my head into 3, completing them each, and then moving on to the next. But I'm going to be intrigued to see how, or I should say, I am intrigued to see how these missions are going to look on the uh, other versions of the game. Because I know they have changed them. It's not to where it was like in this. They actually have a level format like the paramedic mission has. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of correlate, differ, and if some strategies on this game you're going to be able to take over to the next. More so on the police one, I mean the firefighter is pretty much straight hands, simple. You know it's going to be the same thing. As well as the paramedic, there's not really much changing to that, but even just the driving aspect and the parts of town that you're in and a new map is going to make it very interesting, to me at least. So that's something I'm very looking forward to. And then I'm very looking forward to 100%ing this game. That would be just awesome. And then I can show you guys where certain things are, and then just my experience of it as well. So yeah, I am very, very excited for all of that to come into play. It's just kind of a timing thing at this point, but I am enjoying playing the game and then commentating these as well for you guys, and then watching back at my gameplay as I do that. It's actually interesting. If you have one of these devices, it's called an Elgato HD, and it records your gameplay. Something that's really cool about it as well, from my standpoint, is that you get to re-look at your gameplay. When you're playing the game, you're doing everything in the moment. This is basically like watching the highlight reel or the recording of it. You get to kind of see maybe what you could have done differently, and you kind of learn from it yourself. Which I could see being helpful for games that are online, like Call of Duty or Battlefield, Star Wars Battlefront, some online versus player type games, to where you really can just slow down and look at yourself play and determine how you play and maybe what you should do differently the next time, where your weak points are, where your strong points are. It's a really good learning tool for gamers, not only just to have gameplay to show people and to showcase, but even for yourself to better yourself at. So I honestly recommend the Elgato. It works very great, easy to use. The quality on it, I think, is absolutely awesome. There are some different ones that you can get that produce a little bit of different outputs. So just go ahead and look into it. At some point, I do want to upgrade mine to one of the Pro Series, but that's not something I'm worried about right now. This one is great. It does great things, so that is something I do highly recommend, is the Elgato game capturing device. I'll actually end up putting it down in the description below to the website. If you guys want to go ahead and look at it, you can order from there and everything, and just go ahead and read about it. That's going to explain it better than I can, since it's their product. But I do highly recommend that. Just in case y'all were wondering how I do this, that is how I do it. Well, as I've been rambling on, I went ahead, and that is 20 fires, so that's all of those fires completed, so that's great. And as you see there, that's $52,000. Now, granted, that took me probably about 10 minutes to get $52,000, so that's what I was talking about is a great source of income in this game, is doing these vigilante missions. And you can kind of pick and choose between the firefighter, paramedic, and the police, even the taxi as well. Just kind of whatever you're really in the mood for, or what you're best at, what suits your style of play, and then just go at it and get a good little chunk of money to go around and do whatever you'd like to do. So now I'm going to go back to Portland, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys where that Borgine taxi service is, so you can pick it up. It's located in Hardwood in Portland. If you don't know where hardwood is where the car compactor is, as well as that new and used or whatever auto sales shop right by that gas station as well. There's a road that kind of leads to it, so I'll go ahead and drive y'all over there and show y'all what I'm talking about. And then y'all get your, hands on, or I should say eyeballs on look at the Bourgine taxi. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can when I got in it, of how differently actually it handles from a regular cabbie. It is a world of difference faster. It is absolutely crazy, and it even has a different look to it. I think it's got a really sleek look, a burgundy red on it, just very beautiful. But as you tell, I mean, this thing has got some pick up to it. Like, this thing picks up. It's got some good speed. It handles really well. Turns fast. Very agile. Easy to control. Easy and not so easy. Granted, you're going faster, so you might end up turning into things too fast, but it is a great little vehicle, even just to drive around in, to be honest with you. It even has a lot of health to it. It is a bigger type vehicle. It's a four-door car. If you need something with a little bit more armor to it, I would go for this car, because not only that, it has speed too. So even if you're not driving around doing taxi missions, this is a great car just to get you from point A to point B in a fast amount of time, and it has a lot of health to this, so you're not worried about when you get shot up, your vehicle exploding. I would definitely say it is worth doing the 100 fares for the taxi, as you can just do that over any point, any time. It all compiles up. You don't have to do them all at once, as you have seen me do, and it just really, really helps out. So since I've already done the 20 criminals on this island, I don't feel it necessary to have a police car in my garage at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and find another vehicle to replace it with. And yep, I have found it. Now, this is a Yardi Lobo, and this is a really cool car. It has hydraulics on it. Yes, you heard me correctly. This car has hydraulics on it, and it is completely awesome. Not only that, it's kind of a burgundy as well. Got a nice little tan rooftop on it, and if you look on the inside, it has like leopard print seats. I mean, this car is just something else. I think it's really cool. So I'm gonna have it to drive around. It's pretty fast too. Wow, I way missed the entrance to that. It's got some good pickup to it, and it's the only car that has hydraulics in this game. So if you want a car with hydraulics, get the Yardi Lobo. Y'all know I had to make a bounce for you just a little bit. I have to show this thing off. It's pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and park this in the garage before I go ahead and save the game. I do want to thank you guys for watching the video. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel. It's a little bit at the bottom. That way you guys can keep up with the videos that I do post, as I do post quite frequently. Mostly GTA right now, but a few games in the future. you shall know when they get uploaded, and if not, go ahead and subscribe. That way you get notified when I do upload a new video. But anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching, and as always, until next time, peace.